Hello, how's it going? Welcome back to some more F1 22 and another part of our My Team career mode with Brawn GP. Today we are back with the Austrian Grand Prix in our second sprint event of the calendar. So today, of course, we'll have the sprint race, and tomorrow we will be back with the full feature race, if you like, or the Grand Prix of the series. Now, last time out, we had the best race of the season so far, in my opinion, just for pure entertainment. That 8th place in Great Britain, a really strong performance. The pace was good. The car, was glued to the track, and really enjoyed it. And we will continue, hopefully, in that form today in Austria. We are going to switch our components around a little bit just to try and keep the components fresh. We want to keep at least one component free until sort of Monza time, if you like. So we are going to be rotating these power units for the next few Grand Prix, just to make sure that we're getting the most out of them, if you like. So we'll pop back to number 3. This gearbox is pretty knackered, so yeah, we might go for a fresh gearbox at this Grand Prix. Might be tricky to take that to the end of the season. We may well get a penalty at some point. We have got some R&D in progress. No aerodynamics at the moment. You can see we are set to make a big gain at some point down the line. We have got plenty of resource points to be spending, but we want to see where a big upgrade might come in. This one looks pretty good, and that'll be in just before the summer break in Hungary, so that one looks good. That'll take us up the order a little bit in our aerodynamic department. Money-wise, we're absolutely flying at the moment. We should be able to afford Oscar Piastri. 2 million he's going to cost us. I think by the next Grand Prix we'll be expected to bring about our new driver. We may well have enough by that point to sign Nico Hülkenberg. If we do, then that's what we'll do. But we'll see. We'll see how it goes before then. Let's have a little look at the activities. We've only got 2 days worth of training. So we could do a sponsor event. That'll up the team acclaim. No, I think we want to do some second driver training. So let's continue on. We should have the cylinder training ready.
I know we were expecting some new developments.
Yes, we do.
But
awesome.
Some of them have failed quality control. We'll need to tell the team what to redevelop via the R&D screen.
Okay, so that has gone on the car. Let's head to the powertrain now. We should be able to get another upgrade installed. Which one's going to be the biggest? I think actually this one was the biggest. That's what we'll go for. Some new pistons. And we are now actually the best Mercedes-powered team in terms of our engine performance. So that is huge for us. That is absolutely huge for us. But overall performance still well behind, really. The other guys, we are just ahead of Williams. Just behind Aston Martin and AlphaTauri. McLaren leading the way there. And you can see Alpine, Haas, all of those are well ahead of this position. Now, what I did want to check is if there's any new upgrades or anything. Don't think so. Okay, right. Let's advance to the Austrian Grand Prix and see how we get on in qualifying. Here we come, up for our first lap in qualifying. It's going to be in the 6s, a 1:06.6, which puts us second at the moment, just behind George Russell in his Mercedes car. Once again, pace looking good, certainly over a single lap. I think we can be really proud of how the car's coming along at the moment. Still, we are absolutely thrashing Oscar Piastri. We are superior to his powers at the moment. Well, we are right on the cusp of going out in Q1 here. For the first time in a couple of races. And ahead of the sprint race, I really don't think we want to be doing that. So this is our last chance saloon, really, to see if we can get through. Excellent exit through turn 4, and you can see we're 3.5 tenths up already on our previous time. Now it's all going to be about how we get on in this sector as to whether we are going to be going through to Q2 or not. And you can see we're very slightly quicker than Yuki Tsunoda, who's a couple of places ahead of us. We have dropped into the bottom 6. Drop a couple of gears, and now round the final corner, and we push up to the line. It's going to be 6 tenths better, and we do head through in 10th place. That is an excellent final lap of Q1, and that is exactly what we needed to do. We put ourselves into Q2 nice and comfortably in the end. But, well, it looked like it could go wrong before that, and we are ahead of our rival, Daniel Ricciardo. Oscar Piastri, only a 10th of a second behind us. That's a big improvement for him, but he is just out in 17th place. And Lewis Hamilton, the slowest of all the qualifiers, must have made a couple of mistakes on his laps. 1:07.6 for him, 1.5 seconds of getting through to Q2. Alex Albon is up there as well, so a mixed up grid because the likes of Alonso and Hamilton already out in Q1. We come up to the line in our one and only lap in Q2, and it's only 14th place for us. I think we could have done a lot better than that. That was a scrappy lap, but we only had one set of tyres, of course. And that is us out in Q2 then. 14th place is where we're going to be starting for the sprint. Only a couple of tenths of a second of getting through, but if we put in our Q1 time of a 16th flat, we would have made it through to Q3 for the third race in succession, I believe. But Daniel Ricciardo out-qualifies us. He's 11th. Tsunoda there in 12th. Guan Yu Zhou in 13th there. We are 14th, Albon 15th, and Lance Stroll 16th. So let's go and get some in the sprint race.
Welcome to today's sprint. This is shaping up to be another fantastic weekend. Off the back of a fantastic qualifying session, it's time to see how our starting grid looks for today's sprint. Charles Leclerc lines up on pole position, and Max Verstappen lines up alongside. Considering the rest of the grid, we have Sainz, Perez, George Russell, and Bottas, Norris, Magnussen, Ocon, and Mick Schumacher, Ricciardo, Tsunoda, Guan Yu Zhou, the captain, Albon, Stroll, Oscar Piastri, and Pierre Gasly, Latifi, Fernando Alonso, Vettel, and Lewis Hamilton rounds off the grid. Which of these drivers will get pole position today? We will soon find out.
Okay, here we go then. Down on the track. Not a lot said by the commentators there. We are going to go for the medium tyres for this race. Don't think we can actually select... Oh, we can select the soft. Says it's going to be 7 seconds slower. Hards are going to be a little bit slower than that. So let's head out there. We will reduce the fuel in the car just a little bit to try and increase our pace. So without further ado, let's hit the road, Jack.
Here we go then. The formation lap is underway ahead of today's sprint.
So Carlos Sainz leads us away from pole position. Max Verstappen there in second. Sainz third. Perez fourth with Russell fifth. Bottas sixth. Norris in seventh. Magnussen eighth. Ocon ninth. And Mick Schumacher rounding out the top 10.
Positions on the grid. The final preparations have been made. And all that's left is for the drivers to deliver on track.
Looking forward to this. I think this will be an exciting sprint race. 12 laps of the Red Bull Ring, so it's going to be probably around about 13 minutes this Grand Prix. It's certainly, or race I should say, it's certainly not going to be a long one. We're going to have to make our move and of course keep ourselves nice and clean, but realise we do get a second chance of this on the Sunday, but this is very much a dress rehearsal for the Grand Prix. So here we go, we're waiting for the lights to go out, and here they are. Lights out, away we go here for the sprint race in Austria, the second sprint race of the season. It's a decent start off the grid, but we're going to have to take it nice and easy into turn one. Had to take evasive action. There's Zhou Guanyu was swinging towards our front wing. We're down to 17th as it stands, so we've lost 3 positions at turn one. That's probably our worst start of the year so far, as Oscar Piastri looks to be making a move on Lance Stroll, but we get boxed in, and that's just poor positioning as a bit of bodywork flies off a car, and we are going well down the order here, down to 20th place as it stands. That is a really, really poor start as we go down the inside of Sebastian Vettel. Kind of nothing to lose at this stage. Lewis Hamilton has made up 4 positions on this first lap so far. We're going to try and follow him back through the field, because we've definitely got more pace than this. We had pace to qualify in the top 10, but that's the problem. If you don't qualify well, then you're out of position and you can get boxed in. Hamilton is going to go down the inside of Nicholas Latifi here. Big move, a little bit of contact there, and they're still side by side. And Latifi, to be fair to him, getting his elbows out, and wow, we could have very much lost it there as Latifi goes defensive. Hamilton in the middle of us, and we just swing round the outside. That is lovely, and we are past both of them, and now back up to 16th place as Oscar Piastri looking to make a move perhaps, and we now have a little look at Lance Stroll down the inside of turn 4, and we are through this time and get on the power nice and early. That is exactly what we wanted to do. Albon just ahead of Oscar Piastri, and it looks like we are going to get back to where we qualified sooner rather than later, as Guan Yu Zhou goes off the track and nearly back into the path of us, as he now has a look side by side with Oscar Piastri. This has got to be a recipe for disaster. More contact between the two of them as we back out of that, because it's our teammate. But this could have went very wrong. And they're still side by side, the AI up ahead. This is a crazy race so far, as we get the switcheroo on our teammate Oscar Piastri. This is carnage. Albon and Zhou Guanyu just ahead of us. We are going to have DRS here. Once again we switcheroo, and Guanyu Zhou very, very close to taking us out there. DRS is enabled. And we're going to go around the outside of Alex Albon, are we? Oh, a little bit of contact and we do damage the car slightly. But I think we should be okay. We're up to 12th as it stands.
The body's taken a little damage. Just watch out for it. There appears to be an issue. We're currently investigating.
Oh no, we've got an issue with the car. And now we got Oscar Piastri having a look down our inside. Can we catch up to Alex Albon? Should be able to. Hamilton is only a couple of places behind as well. Oh, and we've had an engine failure. Well, well, well. That is unbelievable. We are out. We need to get out of the way of Oscar Piastri. He needs to go on. Oh no, this is an absolute disaster. For some reason, we are not retiring. Oh no, they're going to change our tyres and everything. We have completely ruined Oscar's race.
Looks like there's an issue with one of the front wheel attachments. They'll be incredibly disappointed.
Pit strategy complete. See these tyres through to the end now.
I mean, surely they're not going to expect us to keep going, are they? No, there you go.
Find somewhere to retire the car immediately. It's too dangerous to stay on track.
So we are out of the Austrian Grand Prix. It was fun while it lasted. That was for sure. But our first mechanical failure of the series means that we're going to be starting the race from 22nd position. But what it's encouraging is we know there's pace. We know we can overtake all of those guys as we go into the full-on Grand Prix tomorrow. But that is disappointing, to say the least. And we are not happy about that. And I'm really gutted that we ruined Oscar's race as well.
So let's see how the drivers' standings have changed. Charles Leclerc, currently leading the championship standings, extends his lead even further with this result. It's time to see how things are shaping up in the Constructors' Championship. It was a tough race for our championship leaders who lose ground at the top of the table. Meanwhile, good work from Aston Martin this weekend, who pushed themselves further up the order. With the sprint wrapped up, we now have our grid lineup for the big race tomorrow. Be sure to join us then for what will no doubt be a fantastic race.
Well, there you go then. Charles Leclerc wins the sprint race, 2.8 seconds ahead of Max Verstappen there in second. George Russell finishes a brilliant third for Mercedes. Perez fourth with Lando Norris in fifth. Kevin Magnussen, an excellent sixth for Haas. Ocon eighth, seventh, and Mick Schumacher in eighth there. Lewis Hamilton recovers to ninth. That's the guy. We were ahead of Lewis Hamilton when we got that issue. We could have potentially been up in the top 10. I really do believe that. We were very, very quick out there. We were about to overtake Alex Albon. Yeah, that is disappointing. It really is. Our quickest lap of 107.9. That was competitive with a lot of the guys ahead of us, to be fair. All the way up to Yuki Tsunoda. And, you know, that sort of shows. You know, that was on a heavy fuel as well. And, well, our engine has blown up. We were talking about components and all of that, but that's the way it is. And I suppose now that we are 22nd, we take a brand new engine for the race. We know we're going to be starting 22nd now after that engine failure. So we've got to go out there and we've got to attack. It's as simple as that. We got 36 laps in that Grand Prix tomorrow. It was the ICE that blew up as well. That's a huge component to be blown up. But yes, we are going to be taking a fresh power unit, all of the new parts to just try and tide us through all the way to the end of the season now. We may need to take one more, I think, by the end of the year. But yeah, we will start 22nd and hopefully we will manage to have a fun race tomorrow. That was a good precursor to what a race around Austria could be for us this year. But if you have enjoyed it, give it a big thumbs up down below, subscribe for plenty more F1 content, and I hope you guys are having a wonderful day. Thanks for watching, and goodbye.